Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC, and today is our weekly discussion show. Trust me, eventually it will truly be weekly. We're getting there. The last one was 2 weeks ago. Now we're the weekly discussion show that shows up on the weeks it feels like it. I'm Benny, that is Sal, that is Dylan, and this week we're going to be bringing one of your questions from the last episode. If DCEU were to do a full reboot right now, which is January 2022, how would we do it? Okay, so this is before the Batman's coming out and the Flash is coming out, so we can utilize these to our plans. All right?
Yep.
And like last time, if you have a question or some topic you think would make an interesting video, leave it down below so that we can look it up and make an episode. Okay, so I'm going to take point in this. I feel like the Batman is going to be the reboot. And let's for the sake of argument, we're going to assume Warner Brothers has decided everything has to be interconnected again, and we're going to do it just like the MCU a second time. Okay.
Right. We're going to start with the Batman.
Okay. Right. So the Batman's the beginning.
They're not.
yeah, they're not. No, it's supposed to be out of continuity.
Of course not.
But my idea is that we do the Batman with Robert Pattinson as something in the past. 40 years in the future, we're using Michael Keaton for everything that is interconnected. So he can just show up and be Batman.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Sal's already, he's already out. I've said this before that I feel like this might be what they're trying to do.
Idea before,
but the only reason I'm doing it is because we know Michael Keaton's going to be Batman in the Flashpoint,
and so this the Batgirl movie
in the back. Right. So it's like he's showing up. So I feel like we do Batman with Robert Pattinson, which allows us to kind of do whatever we want with Batman movies and not worry about having to interconnect them. But in the future, Michael Keaton can be our cameo guy, so Batman's still showing up. And you all know him from 89 Batman. You know?
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, we're getting kind of far from that at this point. I was born in 1998. I haven't seen that movie.
Why? Okay, all right, so hold on. Sal, I need you to know, do you agree that we should all rewatch Batman 89 and make Dylan watch it and see how it holds up?
I'd love to.
I'd love to see Dylan's reaction to Batman 89, because I saw it like a year ago. I mean, not for the first time. I've seen it a dozen times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll do that the next week or the week after. And then immediately following that, we need Dylan to watch the Val Kilmer and the George Clooney.
I've seen clips from like I know what's up with those movies. But I haven't sat down to watch them. And I
you should sit down and watch them to completion. They're totally an experience.
Batman 89 is incredible.
Returns you're gonna like, I promise.
Yeah, Batman and Batman Returns are great. But anyway, on topic here, I feel like Batman's going to be the jumping off point since according to this theory here, not theory, but our discussion, they're going to interlink. Sure. That will make Joker. We'll have to have, I feel like we'll do the same thing. So Joker, Joaquin Phoenix will actually be, they'll play into the Three Jokers idea. So he'll be like this archaic
He was Joker in the 80s. Yeah.
And he created the new Joker that Robert Pattinson's going to battle against.
Right.
Which is inspired by the Joaquin Phoenix. That way we can tell Joker movies and Batman movies, and they're not really connected, but they are.
How many Bruce Waynes are there? How old is Robert Pattinson in this movie?
Like 25. No, we're going to make it 25. We're going to roll it back.
Joker's it takes place in like the 80s.
Yeah, no,
How is he 25?
Because he would be the age that he is in Joker.
Yeah.
Like Robert Pattinson is the age of the Bruce Wayne that loses his parents in the Joker movie.
He's definitely not 25 then.
No, he'd be 30 or something, but whatever.
So here's my idea, though. So in the second movie for Robert Pattinson's Batman, he fights the Joker, but it's a new actor, new character. And at the ending, we find the Joaquin Phoenix Joker on a bed, like Saw. Like he's the guy like manipulating the other guy. So since we're taking Zodiac Killer stuff, we'd also take Saw stuff, put that all into the Batman Joker continuity.
Yeah, those are equivalent.
And then
connect them, yeah.
You got a better idea? Come on. I've connected them.
That's fair. I mean, you're taking things that have already existed. Like, you're trying to make sense of what is, and that's fair. Like, that's at least that's more productive, I'm sure, for these guys.
We have to. We have to. If based on the question, if they were to do a reboot and decide tomorrow everything's connected, we got to connect them. So this is how I've connected them. Okay.
That's fair.
You know what?
So what's next?
The real issue here is technically the CW shows are still in canon to all of this because of Ezra Miller showing up and Crisis.
Well, they're in another universe, but yes, like they're
but my point being, like, they and it's so unfortunate, like, they need a Flashpoint, they need another Crisis, but we're getting that, and they don't have a plan, clearly. So, like,
they announced Batgirl, and they're putting Michael Keaton in it.
Right. So, and you can share actors, sure, and like maybe they are doing a New 52, and like some things are ignoring the crisis, just like in the New 52.
Well, what if the Batgirl movie is in like the movie universe that the Batman 89 Keaton is from? Like, it's not that, like, Batgirl is not in this continuity or the continuity of the interconnected universe. Batgirl is in that universe, and we're just going like,
see, that's gonna get so confusing is the problem.
Of course it is.
Because I know they're gonna do that. Oh, there's 9 different movie timelines. Like the X-Men universe had 2 and people were confused.
They couldn't keep it. They screwed that up. The X-Men people screwed that up. Like, they couldn't keep it straight, and they only had one universe.
So, okay, moving forward, I've fixed the Batman Joker problem.
Yes,
Sal,
I fixed it. You fixed it real good.
I think what you actually do is you let James Gunn make a couple more shows, and then you let him helm the DC movies going forward.
Why not?
You do the same thing that Sal and I have been talking about on the Boba Fett reviews. We want them to take over Star Wars. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, all of them to take over Star Wars.
And Bryce Dallas
let James Gunn take over DC. Like, clearly,
I'm not a fan of the
working.
Boba Fett show, but they obviously know what what Disney wants and what original Star Wars fans wants. Because Mandalorian shows me that they know what we want, the original fans, and Boba Fett shows me that they know what Disney wants, which is more Disneyfied Star Wars for the masses. So yes, they need to take over. I feel James Gunn should be the front runner for the DCEU. No one has complained about a James Gunn movie.
No.
Look, Snyder Bros or whatever you want to be. You want to be on the Zack Snyder train or not. You know, I enjoyed his movies. Sal didn't. But he's out, and it doesn't matter. He made divisive movies. When Batman v Superman came out, Sal and I debated it. But no one has debated James Gunn movies.
No. They're just like, I like them.
They're all pretty universally praised. And it's like,
now, that being said, I don't want James Gunn to make a Superman movie. I don't want James Gunn to like
but he'll know who to put on it.
And that's the thing, right? Like, he knows talent, and he knows, and he has friends in the industry. And
he needs to be the Feige of the DC world. Yeah, because they haven't had one for so long.
No, they didn't have a Feige to begin with, because Zack Snyder was not the Feige, because Feige hires other people to do those movies. Zack Snyder's like, I'll do it, and I'll do that one, and that one. I'm like, you can't do them all. You don't fit those characters.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Like, Zack Snyder was never Feige. Zack Snyder was like, if he was willing to, he did start hiring people, but he was in them all. Like, okay, you'll direct it, but I'll be stopping by every day at 3. Like,
yeah, you gotta make sure they look like my movies, though. Like,
yeah. Anyway, so okay, I have fixed Joker, Batman, and Michael Keaton. What are we doing going forward, Sal?
I mean, I would just quit and make other movies. Like, I wouldn't want to have. I don't want this job. This job sucks. Cleaning up the DC cinematic universe is something I would not do. For me, it would be just start over. And if you're like, we made the Batman movie, everyone's gonna go see it. It's, everyone's hyped. Start with Batman, and then just go like, you need a Feige. Maybe it's James Gunn, but like somebody who likes these characters, gets this universe, and understands that like. They need to be unpretentious, and they need to have like no ego. The thing about it is, like, Feige, like, he has an ego when it comes to negotiations, but he's not like, I gotta make it look like my thing, or I gotta do this. Like, it's just, he needs a person who like is not an artist, who's just like, I like these things and I want to see them done by the right people. So like that way, when you make the next Superman movie, it's directed by somebody who likes Superman, and it tonally fits a Superman franchise. The next Green Lantern movie, the next Flash movie, the next Wonder Woman movie, they all have to fit their characters. And I would just go Marvel with it. I know that like people, DC fans especially, but like it's not really going Marvel. It's just doing what they did, which is make individual comic books that fit the character, and they all happen to live in the same universe, and they coalesce when needed. But like, you don't need to build towards a Thanos. You could just have them get together and have that be exciting. Like, we've seen it again in Marvel movies, but also in DC movies, where like when a character appears or crosses over, it's exciting, and we want to see that. And it's not necessarily that like God himself is coming down to destroy the Earth, so all the superheroes have to stand next to each other and punch him in the face. Like, we don't need that. Like, we've seen that, and we've gotten it, and it costs a lot of money to do, and it takes a decade to build towards. So, like, how about the way we mix things up is we just make individualized movies that are about these characters, get the audience to love them, and then have fun with them, you know? Because, like, you don't need to do... I mean, like, Batman versus Superman, like, when it came out, when we were doing this, we're like, it's gonna be the biggest movie in the world because it's Batman and Superman. But, like, really, what you should do is The World's Finest. And it's a Batman and Superman team-up movie.
Totally.
Like, that's your Justice League movie. Or, if you want to go... I mean, like, we had a Trinity movie, and it was called Batman vs. Superman. But, like, if you want to do that, you can make it Trinity. But I would just call it World's Finest and make it about the Trinity. But, like, that'd be something I'd do, like, 6 movies in. You know, it's like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman 2, Superman 2, Wonder Woman 2, Flash, Green Lantern, Superman 3, Batman 3. Like, you know what I mean? And maybe Batman 3 is World's Finest, or maybe, like, Superman shows up in him. By that point, by, like, the 6th movie, characters and universes are crossing over. But, like, it's not a huge deal, and you treat it like it's not a big deal. And you just play that route. And each person who makes those movies is making their individual movie, so they like making it. You know, they're excited about it, they're passionate. Matt Reeves wanted to make a Batman movie. You know, he didn't want to make a Justice League movie. Like, that dude wanted to make a movie about Batman. Fine.
Well, he also wanted to make his Batman movie, because if you've seen the reviews, right, or the interviews, he's talking about how he, like, the original movie, Ben Affleck was basically making a James Bond Batman.
Exactly.
And he didn't want to do that.
No, and I get that. And regardless of whether you like it or not, like, Matt Reeves wanted to make his Batman movie. And the point is, you let them make their movie, but, like, the window dressing of it being in a shared universe is usually not terribly precious to these guys. Like, just, you know, at the planning phase, at the execution phase, and at the, like, interconnected phase, you need to make sure you're there to go, like, by the way, if you don't care about this character who shows up and gives exposition, then it's this character. Like, you know what I mean? That's all it takes to make an interconnected universe. Like, Detective Munch is in 1,000 TV shows because he's the character who shows up and does that. Like, you don't... And now
Detective
there's,
Munch,
like,
who's that?
Oh, I just made a very old reference. There's a... Detective Munch, he was on Law and Order. He was in the X-Files. Like, he's in every show, and it links every TV show by Detective Munch. And it's just like... You know, you've created an interconnected universe whether you like it or not because that character showed up. And it's like, all you need to do is have... I mean, literally, all I've waited for my entire life watching Marvel movies was for the Daily Bugle newspaper to be in a shot.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
That's all it takes is for... I mean, we have an interconnected universe in the Joel Schumacher movies because Batman name drops Superman. Boom.
Right.
Like, and that's all it takes. All I'm asking is for you to make individual, exciting, well-budgeted superhero movies that fit the genre they're supposed to be in. Green Lantern, space cop movie. It's not a Batman movie.
So
guy makes Superman doesn't make a Green Lantern movie.
So basically, Sal doesn't want to reboot.
Start over.
He just start over. I got that.
But I'd start with Batman.
I have a question for you based on that, though.
Okay.
Do you think that WB is going to make Batman the beginning of an interconnected universe if it breaks box office records like they're hoping?
Yes.
Probably.
You think they're going to Man of Steel this, where they're like, we're not doing Marvel. Oh, you guys liked that. We're doing Marvel.
I think that here's the thing about that, because we've seen it, right? Like, we know they won't think of it like that. They won't be like, oh, let's follow that Sal guy's formula, or oh, let's just make Batman. Like, the next one will be a Batman Superman team up movie, or because it's Warner Brothers. Like, they don't know or care. What they'll do is they'll go offer Robert Pattinson double his salary to see if he'll come back for another one in another movie or in a big Justice League movie. Like, they won't just go, this work, because here's the thing. Even if this Batman movie makes $1 billion,
I almost guarantee it will. Almost.
I think you're right. But, like, if it does, you should make it the bedrock of the DC cinematic universe going forward. But also not make every movie like Batman.
Yeah.
But
because that was the problem with Man of Steel moving forward.
Is Man of Steel is not Batman. You don't get the guy who wrote and directed Batman, or the guy who wrote Batman but directed a movie he wanted to make about Batman. Superman. You don't give those guys that, because, like, they don't understand the character. Even if they do understand the character, they're going to execute it from a perspective of a Batman franchise instead of a Superman franchise. And while Man of Steel is universally accepted by most people, it's still not really Superman. It's someone else's Superman. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's not the world's accepted Superman. It's a different one. I personally still like Man of Steel, but I get what you're saying. There is a universe, like All-Star Superman is the universally accepted Superman.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Like-
Superman.
Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
I'm not going to argue that. I'm not, because that is the Superman. When someone says Superman, that's who you think of. The
I
sun
think-
behind him, floating over,
I think
smiling.
it's Dick Donner Superman. I think it's still Chris Reeve.
Or that one, yeah. But those are kind of the same Superman, though, attitude-wise and everything. All-Star.
More
and
or
him.
less, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, so I mean, like, I think the approach needs to be individual movies that like are sensibly budgeted, that are just not trying to build towards a big end, but rather just be like, hey, you know what we're making? We're making this really dope-ass Green Lantern movie. I think you're going to love it. Or, hey, we're making this really, like, hell, lean into the fact that you own this $1 trillion streaming service and be like, we're making Batman movies, Superman movies, Wonder Woman movies. Green Lantern, he's a show. And they're making a Green Lantern show. But, like, Green Lantern, he's a show. He's over there. But in the universe. And he'll show up.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be fun? You're watching Batman 3. And Batman goes to and Batman's doing his thing. He's in the car. And the bat signal comes up, but it's green. And he's like, what the hell? He goes to the top of whatever, and Green Lantern's there. And he's like, hey, man, I'm trying to crack this case. Could you look at it? Like, and he looks at it for a second. He answers a riddle for him or whatever. He puts two things together, and Green Lantern's like, thanks a lot, man. Whoom! And that's it. But it's Green Lantern from, like, that show, you know?
Yeah.
Hell, it could be a post-credit scene, just to make sure it's not, like, weird and disruptive. But, like,
Yeah.
that's all people are really asking for. Like, no one's asking for, like, this, for that.
To that point, like and again, circling back to me wanting James Gunn to helm all of this, like in the latest episode of Peacemaker, very small spoiler, like there's a reference to Kite Man in that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, like that small stuff
I
like
liked
that. They referenced Superman, they've referenced Batman, like they've referenced a
Wonder
bunch
Woman.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, like you need to stop caring about setting stuff up in such concrete ways where, like, you know, everyone gets that these are based on comic books. So
Right.
like embrace that. Like just do stuff.
It's not even necessarily in the same universe because, like, in the Peacemaker show, Peacemaker references Batman's code of non-killing.
Right.
So it's not the Snyderverse Batman.
Absolutely not.
That's true.
And it's clear,
he definitely
like, you know,
mass murdered people.
Right?
James Gunn just wants to write about these characters, and also it happens to be a live action show. Like who cares?
Yeah.
And sure, you can, like, there are times definitely where I've thought like, well, that doesn't really make sense because blah blah blah. But like it doesn't matter because it nobody's interested in it. So like move on.
Right. Yeah, like Shazam. Like the Shazam movie. It has Ben Affleck's batarangs and Henry Cavill's Superman suit. And they talk about them like they're not the characters that are those characters. Like, they talk about, oh boy, I found a batarang, as opposed to like, oh no, I saw a batarang. That psychopath was near me. You know, it's like finding out there's a murderer in your neighborhood.
Take this.
Superman sat down at the lunch table, and it's like, the guy who literally made out in the dust of thousands of Metropolis people.
Oh god, I never even thought about that.
They're breathing in people from Metropolis in that scene. It's just like, they're ants, but you I have sex with, so it's okay.
So wow, we're way off. I mean, this is how we'd reboot it, I guess. But like,
I would also drop the DCEU handle. Extended from what?
Yeah.
It's the DC Cinematic Universe. You can even abbreviate it called DCU. But like, that's what the DC comic book universe is called. It's just called the DCCU. It's not like rocket science.
No, but we're different, Sal. We're
we gotta be different.
We're extended. Extended from what? The comic books? Like, what is that? Extended? We're extending it out. Like,
the whole thing is extended. What are you talking about?
What?
Remember the original lineup, the original list of movies? Oh, since we're kind of off topic on this DC EU original lineup, I'm gonna pull that up because we're kind of off topic basically because you just want to reboot the whole thing, just start from scratch and just do it what we wanted originally.
I do too.
Yes.
The problem is I agree. But we also both know WB's probably going to be like, the new Batman is the start of a cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Who's also got Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa.
You can make both work. It's just, you know, it's too messy. Like there's too much baggage when you start to try to fix all of this. There's just no way to do it cleanly.
You're gonna have to like hand wave it. Like it's tough because like you could. And by the way, in the Pattinson thing, like you could still say the Joker movie happened, but like that movie was Oscar bait. They're not trying to build a universe with the Joker movie.
No, of course not.
So you don't need to connect it, and no one's gonna argue that. Like, what? You didn't connect the Joker movie, like, but you can though.
The Joker movie's weird because it doesn't even feel like the true Joker because it really is just his origin. So it's just kind of like
just another character. Yeah,
it's just a mass murderer killer. Oh, how did he become evil?
Yeah.
Okay,
so look at this lineup here. Go ahead.
We had Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, then Suicide Squad. And those three came out on plan without any hiccups. Like that was and that was when they realized, whoa, where this isn't going as we planned.
Well, yeah. Well, BVS didn't make $1 billion, and Suicide Squad didn't do very well at all. And they also they already were trying to course correct during making like while editing Suicide Squad.
Yeah. So at this point, we had Wonder Woman and Justice League Part 1. It was gonna be one.
Yep.
Then we were gonna have the Flash, which was Flashpoint. No, it wasn't Flashpoint in the early days, was it?
They always kind of called it Flashpoint, but I'm sure that originally the Flashpoint movie was going to be just Flashpoint without the New 52, where it's like he fights the one and he goes back in time, tries to save his mom. Like it was all set up in the Justice League movie. So like, I think that was supposed to be Flashpoint.
Okay. Then there's the untitled one, and looking at a lot of the rumors, that one could have been Gotham City Sirens. At the time, it could have been the Deadshot movie they were talking about. That they were going to take Will Smith and go do his own Deadshot thing.
He was Will Smith.
Shazam was on the slate, but then we were going to have Justice League Part 2, which was the actual fight with Darkseid.
Right.
Which makes me wonder, what was going to be the plan here? Just like, all right, well, Darkseid will be here in a year.
As we saw in the Snyder cut, like, they see him through a portal, it closes. So then we do a Flash, Aquaman, Shazam movie, and then JL2 comes out and he shows up.
Then we had an untitled DC movie. I got a feeling this was the original Batman spot.
I think it was Cyborg.
No, because Cyborg's on the list because coming out after that.
All right. Yeah, then it makes I remember that part of the reason why Ben Affleck was Batman was because he was going to direct it.
Yes.
So that would have been the Batman movie.
Then we had Cyborg and Green Lantern Corps.
Yes, Green Lantern Corps.
And then we had the rumored Justice League Dark movie. Remember when they had Guillermo del Toro doing that one?
Which was the proof it was never going to happen. Was when we got Guillermo del Toro, the guy you never asked to help you move or drive you to the airport because he will not show up. That is who he is. He is the guy you never asked to drive you to the airport equivalent of a movie director.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's like, I will be there, dude. I will be gone. Never hear from him again.
There were early rumors of a Batgirl movie, which now is apparently happening.
Well, originally it was Joss Whedon's Batgirl movie.
That's right. And Nightwing. There was going to be a Nightwing movie.
That I heard that was a rumor, but I'll take it.
Well, just like there was the rumor of Black Adam early on, but I got a feeling they were already talking to The Rock, and they're like, if we get The Rock, this movie will exist.
Yes. Absolutely.
But yeah, that was all of the original slate that was coming out.
Yeah, cool.
It's crazy that none of that, like, I don't care.
Happened. Right, it wasn't like, oh. It was kind of like, oh. I mean, we were pretty devastated. I remember being, like, disappointed. I remember everybody was pretty, like, disappointed when that didn't happen.
Yeah, but like, hindsight, it's like, like, it just exhausts me hearing that.
We were watching it derail in real time. Like, we were literally being like, oh, that's not, oh, no. And when all the crap dropped about Suicide Squad, people were like, oh, I don't think this is going to work.
Well, I'm pretty sure, didn't it go like Man of Steel came out and we heard nothing. And then they announced Batman v Superman and that came out. And then they kind
of a big deal,
and then it was Suicide Squad and that came out. And then they were like, and here's the slate. But they they released the slate after we already saw it going downhill.
Yes. We were like, but that slate actually I think helped a lot because we were like, okay, well, they got a plan.
Yeah, I think we even said that in some of the early weekly polls.
Yeah,
they got something in place. Who's in? Oh, Zack Snyder's on all of this. Oh no.
oh, that's not gonna. Okay, so there we have it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, like the funny thing is, I'm not so arrogant as to assume that like they're just gonna like pull a Feige with Spider-Man and go, I don't want to try and fix your Garfield universe. We're just going to reboot equivalent of the DC cinematic universe. I don't think they're going to do that because I think they've learned, like, we don't need to do that.
The problem is, like, look, I'm all for keeping these actors on, but they're not just stating, hey, we're just starting over.
No.
Like, because even with Flashpoint, they're talking about how it's still interconnected and all. Like, I mean, when Aquaman came out, they were talking about Darkseid. When Wonder Woman happened, they were talking about Darkseid. Like,
Yeah.
you guys just had to remove a couple lines, and it would start feeling separate. Why did you leave all that in?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think-
plus Wonder Woman 2 is really bad.
I think ever since Joker, the mandate at the top has just kind of been like, just make movies that make money, tell the little nerds whatever they need to hear to
Yes, just
get them in
lie
a
to
seat.
them.
Yeah, and then after we get those box office numbers, shut up. Like, don't don't answer questions. Just wait and make the next movie. We'll keep making movies until they stop making money, and then we'll make even more movies.
Yep. Well, by then, hopefully, we'll have like a new writer on Harry Potter, and we can start all over again.
Right, exactly. Yeah, by then we got something else that's making us money.
So, all right, well, we are absolutely Marvel and DC. I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Let us know in the comments down below what you want us to talk about next time, and we will put a countdown how quickly it derails off the original topic. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time right here.